Okay, second grade, this lesson is going to be week 2, day 2, which is worksheet 117 on the front, homework 117 on the back, and we're going to be covering digraphs long E, silent I, digraph EI, digraph long I, silent E, digraph silent I, long E. So you can tell there's going to be a lot of different sounds we're going to be working with here. So we're going to start out by taking a look at these words here, okay? Right off the bat, looking at the words, I'm sure by now you've identified that each of these words contain digraph IE, okay? So how do we code a digraph? That's correct. You're going to underline it. So we're going to go ahead and underline the IE digraph in each of these words, okay? Now, this is where it gets tricky because IE digraph can make a couple of different sounds. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read the words to you, and I want you to see if you can hear what sounds IE digraph might make in a word. Okay, this first word is pie, p-I, pie. The second one is lie, l-I, lie. The third one is peace, p-e-s, peace. And the last one is thief, thief. Okay, so by now you should have heard that a couple of these words, the IE digraph says I, and the other two words, the IE digraph says E. Now there's really no good rule to tell you when to use which sound. You're just going to have to test it with the sounds and listen until you hear a word that you're familiar with. Okay, let's go ahead and quickly finish out the coding of these, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the next two digraphs. Okay, so for pie, obviously we don't do anything with P. P says P, but we know in this one it's going to be long I, silent E, because in that one the IE digraph says I. Okay, on the next one, same thing, nothing with the L, but we know that it's long I, silent E, because in that one, again, the IE digraph says I. All right, taking a look down here at the next one. Nothing with the P. We know here the IE digraph says E, so this one's going to give us a silent I, a long E. Okay, what did you recall that you noticed about the C in the word peace? That's correct. It's a cedilla C. So you're going to go ahead and put your cedilla underneath it. And then, of course, that E is silent. And that gives us the word peace, like a piece of pie. Then thief, you should see TH digraph. Again, it's silent I, long E on that, leaving us with the word thief. Now, I do have picture cards for long I, silent E digraph, and for silent I, long E digraph. So take a second, talk to someone around you, go find somebody, see if you can figure out what might be on my picture cards for long I, silent E, and silent I, long E. You can pause the video here if you want to try to think about it and see if you can figure it out. Okay, we'll start with long I, silent E. The picture on my picture card for that one is pie. So when you see this one, you will say pie, I, long I, silent E digraph. Okay, pie. All right, now for the next one. The picture card for this one is shield. Now this is a little tricky because when you see the word shield, it should be sh, e, old are the sounds that you're making, okay? Because this digraph says E. So for this one, it's shield, E, silent I, long E digraph. Okay? All right. Let's take a look at another set of words quickly. Okay, So I'm not reading these to you, but you can look through them, and probably by now you've identified the digraphs that you see in these. So again, how do we code a digraph? Yes, we underline it. So we're going to go ahead and underline the EI digraph in each of these. Now, just like IE, EI can be a little tricky too, okay? Because sometimes EI can say E, but sometimes EI can say A, okay? So that's what we're going to work through here on these particular words. Again, there's no real good way to determine what it's going to say. You just have to test it out until you hear a word that you are familiar with, okay? So this first word is either. Now, this gets tricky because sometimes people say either. I would like either ice cream or a cookie. I would like either ice cream or a cookie. So this one can kind of go either way. But for the case of this lesson, we're going to go with E, either, which is going to give this digraph a long E, silent I to say E. Okay? Down here, same thing. E-ling, ceiling. So again, that one's long E, silent I. And then down here, we have vein, V-A-N, vein. Okay, on that one, we're not going to code it anything because it's making the A sound, and there's not an A in that digraph. So we're going to just leave it as it is and know that it makes the A sound. Same thing with rein, like the reign of a king or the reign of a horse. Okay, R-A-N, rain. That's not like rain falling down. It's actually rain like a rein on a horse. Okay, reign of a king is actually a whole nother spelling. So reign of a horse. Okay, so either, ceiling, vein, rain. Let's go ahead and finish up the coding on those. All right, remember, you do have a vowel digraph. So with this one, you should then see TH digraph. Okay, so when those are together, we can still do VC patterns on those. So here you've got V. This is a consonant digraph, so it's a C, and then you've got your V. Yes, it is part of combination ER, but now we want to figure out where the split's going to be on this. Since this is making a long sound, it's going to split right here between the V and the C, and that's considered an open accented vowel. So the accent goes there, and there you have the word either. Okay, all right, same thing for the next one. You've got a V, C, B pattern here, okay? Because I know you might see ing, but in that particular word, if you take away ing, are you left with a base word? No, no base word. So in this particular one, it's not going to be suffix ing. Okay, so again, you're going to want to figure out where the split goes on that one. Okay, in this particular one, we're going to split right here. Okay, and so your accent on this one is going to, squeezing it in there, is going to be right there, and then you've got ng digraph, which says nga, and so we've got s, which tells us, that's correct, Sedelia C, ul, ing, ceiling, okay? And then for vein and rain, there's nothing else to do on those two. Okay, again, I do have picture cards for these digraphs. Okay, we'll start with long E, silent I digraph. You want to pause here and take a second and see if you can figure out a word that might have long E, silent I, which would say E. You can pause here. Okay, so our picture card for that one is going to be receipt. Receipt, because in this word, the EI digraph says E. So the picture card is receipt, E, long E, silent I digraph. Okay, next picture card. If you want to pause here to see if you can figure out what might be on my picture card for EI digraph that says A. Okay, picture card for this one is veil. The bride is wearing a veil. V-A-L. Just like vein, just like rain. V-A-L. E-I digraph here says A. So for this picture card, you're going to say veil, A, E-I digraph. Okay, that concludes that lesson. If you have any questions, let me know.